What mine? Oh Lord, I'm not sure if I'm not near that some one.
Well, better than that. Fan blowing the whole time.
That is true.
Who's here? Is Tom on? Tom, you leave?
You probably have support today.
Thursday.
Well, when the judge says you gotta be in court, you gotta be in court. The judge is in jail.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
approval of agenda with additions or deletions.
Motion to approve.
All in favor? Any opposed? So carried. All right, new business, Mr. Newton.
Thank you, Mayor Moore, for this meeting quick. Mr. Kirby here with, I just want to thank Mr. Lutheran Services. Lutheran Services Carolina. He is here to speak to you about the loan that they own for the apartments over here. So just a little backstory, in 2002, we got a CDBG grant for this project. Town opted to hire a private firm to do refurbishing, turn into apartments. And with that, there was a private company that used to be Excel Management.
They're still doing the management day-to-day management.
And that's who our grant was with, or our loan was through. And just to bring it before you, as the balloon payment for this project is due next Tuesday on the 10th. To date, I think the current number that the auditor provided us was $191,000. That's $191,083 as current balance. And then this is a 2% loan to be paid off after the next week. So I think it's a 15-ish year loan. And so Travis here to talk to you all the possibilities of extending the loan. That's another team.
Okay, if you're okay with me sitting here and chatting, if everybody can hear me okay. Thanks to Jonathan for putting this together. I appreciate y'all coming together short notice. I gave just a 3-pager here, 1-minute title page, just kind of some background. Jonathan already kind of went over the 2nd page on there about Dallas High School. It was funded through some debt and some low-income housing tax credits many years ago. And the low-income housing tax credits are usually purchased by some big conglomeration for tax credits over the year. They're in there as the main investor, and once that tax credit period is expired, which is roughly 15, 16 years, they as the investors want out of the project because they're not really in it for the project, they're in it for the tax credits. At that point, we as the sole nonprofit in the managing partner were able to basically assume the debt that was outstanding. It was approximately $750,000 at the time. And with that, it retained ownership, so to speak, of Dallas High School Apartments. It's 33 units, low income. It has, a contract with the Gaston Housing Authority. Originally, when we first contemplating getting involved with Dallas High School, we contacted the town at that point. It was obviously many years ago, and floated the idea of a potential forgiveness of that loan when the time came. That was received favorably, but there was obviously years in between that and now, and so here we are. During the initial stages of the project, the loan was serviced at a small amount, I think $3,000 or $4,000 a year for payments to the town. And so instead of the balance of $230,000, the original balance of $230,000 going down, the balance kind of went up because of the accrued interest. When Lutheran Services Carolinas took it over, we started making monthly principal and interest payments to try to get back into the mode of paying it down over time. And after several years, we've been losing money. You can see the latest amount there is $46,000. We just did our budgets because we're a 9/30 fiscal year, and we're budgeted to lose about $19,000. A lot of it depends on vacancy rates and getting keeping the apartments filled. The way it keeps afloat is essentially depreciation is a paper entry on the financials, and so that money goes to just be put back into refurbishments, fixes over time. Lutheran Services at this point for the past several years, while it's been owner has not taken any money out of the project. It's just been used to pay the bills and service the project and keep it up. The last page here is just a little bit on who Lutheran Services is, just in case you don't know who we are. We're a conglomeration of nonprofit organizations, 501c3 organizations. Our administrative offices are in Salisbury, North Carolina, but we're throughout the state. Mission statement and vision statement are very important to us. Powered by Christ, we walk together with all we serve. We have not only senior services that we provide that are listed here in terms of skilled nursing facilities and retirement communities, PACE programs, one of which is just down the street here, a few exits down, senior total life care, but also social services, foster care, adoptions, group homes for developmentally disabled in both North and South Carolina. The mission, John 10:10, came that you may have life and have it abundantly. So we're looking to provide services that give both seniors, child and family folks, just a good quality of life. And we felt like at the time Dallas High School Apartments fit in with that and still does. At this point, obviously the loan does balloon next week. We'd love to have it extended. Ultimately, the bigger ask is to say, hey, if we were able to take and document the expenditure of the balance of that over the next several years towards improvements in the building, I mean, that would be our ultimate ask, is that it would be forgiven that way by us reinvesting the monies that would have come back here on the principal back into that community. If that's possible, we'd love that. We'd love to work out the details for that. If not, The second ask would be to extend the loan. We've been consistent in making principal and interest payments. But again, with the age of that facility, we know that there's going to be capital needs over the next several years that need to be met somehow. And so this is potentially one of those ways that they could be met. Do you have any questions for me?
How long were you asking? I think, for me, initially, the first request is hard. But the second request, more reasonable. How long would you request?
We'd like to play it out for the rest. I did an amortization schedule, and I don't know if you have it on you there. I said,
It would be an email, so I think it was 15 years.
it's approximately that. I mean, it's not a short-term thing. It would be a longer-term commitment. We do have another sizable mortgage. It's probably between $400,000 and $450,000 that goes out, I think, to 2045 is payment. That's the other piece of debt on it besides this loan that's to the town.
There's 2 loans on the property.
Correct. And both came with the origination of the whole refurbishment and turning it into low-income housing.
Yeah, I was able to find it, so it was roughly maybe 13, or about the same, $1,400 roughly for the month each month until 36.
That's 12, 13. And I think one of the issues is that we had a different balance on ours. It was a little bit lower than what Jonathan has, and we'd have to square up on that piece too.
Why have you waited till now?
That was, I can't say anything other than it's an oversight on my part. When we first took over, I did contact the town. I talked to the auditor of the town. There was difficulty coming up with an amortization schedule that went out. There's a lot of history, but nothing that went out. And since we had only paid interest, there wasn't a standard kind of monthly P&I amortization schedule. So at that point, I put that together for our own internal purposes to use, and have been paying against that ever since, and didn't have it stopping in a few years. I just had it playing out for the rest. So that's simply.
Y'all signed the contract.
Yes, sir.
Balance bill, 230 to the tax amount.
Yeah, the balance is 191.
194. All right.
And it's actually on that second page of that paper week. So that shows the payment, that shows the payment history received right there.
Okay. And all these payments were interest.
Principal and interest, but, the original contract was $37.20 a year, so they were gonna pay additional to try to knock down the bill payment. So yeah, that includes principal and interest payables. But, like Cody said, there wasn't a official amortization schedule because it was just $3,700 a year we paid until the balloon payment hits, which is now made a full thing.
I do think an extension is necessary. Personally, I don't like the 15 years. Because if we had the money now, like we were supposed to, and again, some of us are new on the board, so if we have the money now, like we were supposed to with new economic development coming in and things as we're growing, that money we could use to put somewhere else. So I think in 15 years, how many of us are gonna be here?
I probably will not be.
Great. And I also, Sam said this, I think it's hard to make a decision 3 days before it's time, so maybe even an extension of that date.
Can we extend that December 10th out
That'll be a time question.
so we can have some time maybe to come up with a reasonable?
And I've already, Jonathan mentioned Excel, which is the day-to-day manager. I've already instructed them to just continue to make the monthly payments until we get things resolved, however long that is.
What is your monthly payment right now?
It's just under $1,500. I think it's $1,480 and change.
And you're paying more than that? on
We're
it?
paying that, but that includes principal as long with interest, whereas before it was just a one-time lump sum payment annually. This is monthly.
So our options are to extend the contract. Well, the contract ends on the 10th. And the debt becomes owed that day. Now, if we don't try to enforce on it, and you continue to make payments, well and good. But what has to happen is, in my way of thinking, is that we have to have a new contract. Because this one expires. And
We have to enter into a 1 month or a 60-day, whatever contract to get it resolved. For us to come up with a way to get it resolved.
Right.
That'd be with us coming up with our payment plan or what we think might be good, and maybe you come up with a different one that's presented to us again, I don't know, but
Okay.
if that's a possibility.
in my way of thinking, Sam, I'm willing to give them 5 more years under the same terms. Making monthly plan payments to a new amortization and chart. It'd be based on the amount that's owed, whatever y'all get. And then it balloons in 5 years. That would give everybody time to get things together. That's sort of how I'm thinking. I don't know.
I was thinking the same, first, and again, looking just out for the town, because obviously I don't really need it. So, but for the town, I think that 5 years would be good.
Living 5
For
years.
living 5 years, yeah.
What happens anyway, you might have, you never know what.
Five years, keeping the same interest rate.
Making monthly payments according to his amortization chart.
So would you like it, if you got a 5-year, would you like it calculated that the payment and principal and interest is gonna pay the full loan off, or a sum and then the balloon payment coming?
No, I think it needs to pay, I think it needs to be paid off.
But if you do it that way, but that puts more pressure on them. And trying to be fair to them and what they do there. If you say, if you amortization of $191,000. Oh. One, oh,
Jonathan, what do we need to do?
Give me a second, I'm trying. Give me a second, I'm trying to get this.
What was the question?
If it's amortized just in 5 years
Oh.
without a balloon, you know, it would probably more than,
$3,500.
it'd more than double the payment. And quite frankly, I'm not sure that the apartment complex is not sitting on a pile of cash. Any cash it really has goes for renovations and fixes. So that's what we're required to set aside in reserves according to the housing contracts. So
If you did a 5-year, 2% on 191.83, your monthly payments would be $3,200 a month.
Between 3,200 and 3,400.
So,
Annually or monthly?
monthly,
They were paid
So-
seven.
could we
They
not
were paid
consider
37 annually.
letting them
They were paying 37 annually.
Yeah.
This company should take over paying.
stay the way it is and have a loan payment in 5 years?
That's what I was asking. I don't know what they did.
No, but then, I think they need to pay whatever the Amherst, I can tell you what,
I thought that's what you used to do.
that was for a 5-year payment. But if you're, well, that is right, that is what it would be for a 5-year payment. You're right. We could take one, 3.
Okay.
10%.
If there were a $3,500 payment monthly for 5 years, would y'all have to sell? Or would y'all?
yeah, it could handle it probably short term, but long term it wouldn't be able to handle it. And
As far as the funding is like, I mean, you have multiple homes like this, apartments, so I don't know, you know, put everything together, or is it just the financial, or just for that?
these loans are outside of any of that, so it's basically funded through Dallas High School itself. And I don't know, maybe, I don't know if the housing authority would increase the rent based on servicing a higher loan. I just don't know that at this point.
I think the most responsible thing to do on both ends would be to extend this to January, give you time to get all of the details in order that you would need to see what is affordable. Because if you don't have to sell it, then that's great, right? Because I do think you guys are doing a good job. And then that'll also give us time to make an even more fair decision on what to do for the town, essentially. So, I think that's what we need to do as of today, but I don't make a decision.
Well, my question is, even if we say we're gonna give you 5 more years, in 5 years from now, you won't be able to pay it all.
The building won't be able to, but in terms of coming up with a better game plan, then obviously we're sitting with that. It'll allow us a little time to prepare for that. A little bit.
I don't think we're looking for another game plan in 5 years. I think we're looking for.
Well, I'm looking for a game plan for Lutheran Services in Dallas High
I
School.
didn't understand that, sort of misunderstood what you said, because it's supposed to be paid today. And we have projects that we have to use this money for that are well needed in town. But I'm good with coming up 5-year way of doing it. And I think that's, to me, I don't know what the rest of the board feels, but if you look at it, you have to look at it, and staff has to look at it. I mean, does anybody on the board want to give them more than 5 years to come up with a plan?
I think 5 years is fine. He's gonna come back in January to tell something, tell him today. If if you put up January, you'll just say in January, so they can't pay it off. I think 5 years, we doing it, 5 years. Hey,
So, how about you, Greg, you good at 5 years? So if we say to you, come back and see us in, was January gonna be long enough for you to get a plan together, or you need your February?
Depends what time in January. Is it beginning or end?
It would be more in the middle, the 17th is what we were looking at. 'Cause we have a board meeting on the 14th, so our,
We do the work session,
Yeah.
this discussion.
Yeah.
We'll get those reactions.
so we don't have to have a
If
second
you want
meeting.
the February, I think the board would be happy
Yeah,
to
we
give
do
you
the work
it.
session.
Okay, I'll take February then.
And that's on the conditions you continue to make the payments.
We're planning on it.
And I think, is everybody in agreement that we want him to come back with a plan to pay us off in full? Give 5 years at 2% interest. And making whatever payment you wanna suggest each month till the day that all has to be paid. Y'all like that idea or not? Or is that too complicated?
I think it would be, I think having them commit to 5 years, I think that it's presumptuous essentially and aggressive to say this, we're gonna do 5 years. But I think instead of demanding, I would just request that you look to see what you can do in 5 years and see if it's feasible. And then if not, come back and say, hey, we can do it in 3, maybe not, but, or we can do it in 5.5 or something based on different things. If you ask for, if you ask for 5, if you ask for an extension, give us reasons why that would be more beneficial. Obvious reasons, right? But the request would be, look and see what's feasible for you guys realistically. And then bring that to us so that we can make a more fair response for you. Because right now, as the board, we have to take care of our town, and it should be paid next week. But we want to work with you in extending that, but at what cost? And so I guess the request would be more so, bring us something that we can look at to work with you.
Okay, fair enough.
But I wanna be fair with you too. If it's more than 5 years, I'm a no-go. There might be others on there.
Okay.
I'm being straight up with you. I'm a no-go.
And I think, so, and then in February, we'll be able to look and see what this new contract will look like and what the terms will be, because they'll change within this, but again, so that we can work with you, because I do like what you're doing, I think the town likes what you're doing. So we don't wanna demand something from you, but we need to really work together on this to make sure it's feasible for everybody. Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Anything
Great.
else?
Red's got a question.
Okay.
The original payment plan was 37.5, an annual,
Annually, yes.
but now we're talking months,
Yes, we have
32 or whatever you said,
Could be 32 or
month.
monthly if they came back and wanted to just pay we could accept him just paying the interest of the principal and pay everything on, when it balloons on
5 years.
5 years, or he pays interest plus whatever they can afford to pay on the principal during that 5 years.
Well, and what else you could do is maybe even a down payment, if you agree to X amount of years, then maybe a down payment up front for something would be beneficial as well.
I might consider that.
Okay.
But we need to give staff direction. Do you have direction what to do?
Yeah, the first line of business is get with the attorney to extend this contract until February.
Well,
For our board meeting or work session?
I would say work session.
Work session in February, and that, we can do the date on.
He's got to come up with it, huh?
Then the work session, then you guys can discuss accepting his plan, talking about it, then we'll bring it back for March's board meeting to approve that new contract terms. So they go into effect.
well,
We're up to February meeting, definitely action like that without time being involved.
Does it have to have a public hearing?
At 6, so 5
So what we're saying now is that we're not gonna move towards foreclosure. That we're not gonna do foreclosure, we're gonna wait until February. So we're basically extending right now by what we're doing. We don't need, I don't think we need paperwork. Because right now, we can start a foreclosure action whenever we choose to. Is that correct?
Yes, but I don't think we need to do.
No, I don't
That's
think we need,
unnecessary.
no, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying we're in a little state of limbo till you come back to February.
Is it the same time on?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
The work sessions are at 5. And you will continue to make the monthly payments until then? Okay.
14.
And what they are now? Currently are. Everyone's okay with that? Okay. Do we make a motion, or what do we need to
You
do?
can make a motion to direct staff that we just discussed.
Okay.
Yeah, those you can motion in a second. Since this is a special meeting, can't take action.
I make a motion that we take no action on the loan, that we direct staff to come up with proposals. We also ask you to come up with a proposal, and we bring this back for discussion in the next work session in February, which is what day?
February 25th.
February 25th.